News of the Week continues with our conversation with the Mayor of Abbotsford, and that's Ross Siemens. And welcome to abbyTV, as well as our sister station, Chill TV. You've gone through your first 100 days. What have you learned, and what were the surprises?
It's been very good. We've got a great team and a great council. We've started our strategic planning session right from the start. We've worked together with senior leadership team to come up with some strategic plans. It is a lot of work. I can't imagine doing this job without having had some council experience. But we've got a dynamic city, and it's a lot of moving pieces. So we hit the ground running though. And
was there an advantage? I'm assuming that there was some type of a transition conversation with previous Mayor Henry Braun. Any words of wisdom? There's the running joke with the presidency in the States that they always, one president outgoing leaves a little letter saying, this is what to look for, what not to look for. Did you get any words of wisdom from the mayor?
Yeah, lots of words of wisdom. He's a very principled person that I worked well with. Mm-hmm. So lots of encouragement and just he had a very calm, respectful relationship with the senior leadership team, and he gave good direction. And so he gave me some pointers, and again, like, be yourself, be authentic, and be straightforward as possible. And there's going to be lots of moving parts, but just stay calm and carry on.
The strategic plan, the first thing a lot of people are going to think about is, what do you do with flood? But obviously, you have a city of almost 200,000 to run. What are the big things that you're looking at that are going to be, I wouldn't say major obstacles, but they're definitely going to be the challenges over the next 3 to 5 years?
We try and be up at the 30,000 foot level and saying, how does this all work? We know we're a growing city. We want to continue with our smart growth from our official community plan, which densifies from the core out. Building a better transit system, building different housing options, and then the other issue, of course, is the jobs that go with that to keep people employed. We have everything from aggregates to agriculture. Agriculture capital of Canada, and then we've got the aerospace and everything in between, the whole supply chain. So just making sure that we have a clear understanding of how the economy also works and our role in it, and just making sure that we have good, respectful relations with senior levels of government, because a lot of what we do requires funding, and we get 8 cents of the tax dollar is local, and yet we have a huge responsibility. So just making sure that we keep our eye on the things that we actually have control on, and then how do we engage with senior levels of government to assist us.
Leading up to, and then it literally stopped when we had COVID, and then the atmospheric river. But there was this push, Abbotsford 200K, and economic development was really pushing hard. It seems to have just dropped off the face of the earth. Is that coming back? Or I just don't see it publicized as much as it once was. And that was a big promotion.
Yeah, that was actually our official community plan. So Abbott's Forward and the plan for 200K. So that was our strategic plan, our official community plan, and then our master plans. So those are all in place. So that is still very much at play. So how we grow to 200,000, that is still very much very embedded in. So we don't necessarily talk about the 200K plan. That is embedded in everything from our official community plan to master plans.
Yeah. Has the population slowed down because of COVID, or have you noticed anything, or is there a pickup?
I think we're one of the fastest growing, we are one of the fastest growing communities. I think it's an 8.5% increase over the last census. So it hasn't slowed. We haven't seen that slow down at all. So we're on the move.
Dealing with various levels of government, we would be remiss when talking about the Nooksack and what happened, of course, with Mayor Braun having to deal with it. Anything new on that front, or is that you've got to leave that to the federal governments to kind of hammer out, and you find out when you find out?
No, we're very much engaged. We had an update just the other day from the provincial representative that the Premier Eby has put in place. So we again are advocating that the Nooksack Sumas issue be elevated to the degree that the Skagit and the Columbia, which are some local rivers. There's others like the Red River, but we want it elevated to that level because that is how important that is to our provincial economy, our national economy, even international trade. So there's from the American side, it is kind of the northern Whatcom County is the least populated area of the county.
Yeah.
But articulating the fact that we've got an important international component that is, and may not even affects the U.S. economy if we have some of those borders and all closed because of flooding events. So I think that there is a real recognition of that at the provincial level especially, and the federal government has indicated that they're very much leaning in on this. So we're staying part of that. Of course, we don't lead it, but we can still advocate and push hard, so we are.
On the provincial side, just last week, David Eby, the Premier, was in Chilliwack with a major announcement when it came to riprap and flood mitigation. And I asked him point blank, is there anything for Abbotsford coming down the pipe or Mission Gauge and such? He didn't really give us an answer. Are there any hot spots that you're concerned about? Because it does, well, knock on wood, we may not have a serious freshet this year, but are there any hot spots on the Abbotsford side that you'd like to go, we could use about $5 million here as well?
No, we already have funding in place. We have continued with our First Nations consultations, and there is a memorandum of understanding that is on the Fraser side. And so those, I think we are going to be starting work on those. And we've, so we're advocating, and again, obviously there's going to be some cost increases because of inflationary pressures. So we'll be advocating for them to continue that work. Those announcements were done by, previous, but that work will continue. So that stream of funding was actually a different stream than what we were going to be going for some bigger fish. So yeah, those issues were more regional district and some First Nations, smaller issues that obviously are important.
Yeah.
The bigger issues, we are continuing those talks and advocacy.
With just the growth of Abbotsford, and just recently you were talking about adding parks, with the growth, is there room in Abbotsford? There's only, you're dealing with the Fraser River on one side, you have First Nations, you're dealing with ALR. Is there room enough for Abbotsford to literally breathe and grow? It's a great idea to throw in more parks, but can you do it?
Yes, I believe so. Again, some of the topography that we have, there's ravines and trails. So in the urban core, that's why we've decided that we've really focused on densifying from the core out. Yeah. And then with those ravines and trail networks in the urban area, we have an urban forest strategy. We do realize we're going to have some challenges with the tree canopy as we grow, and we have a plan to connect those neighborhoods through trails and green spaces. So yeah, the topography allows us to that luxury to do some of those things. So we're very mindful of that, and how that plays out. We'll be unrolling that a little bit more as we go forward.
I would be remiss without bringing up, and every community has that sore thumb, but crime, gang activity, it seems to have quietened down a little bit in Abbotsford. Are you getting more federal assistance, provincial assistance? Unlike, say, Chilliwack, which has RCMP, you have your own force. Do you feel you're well equipped to handle anything that's coming at you?
Yeah, well, I'm very proud of the abbyPD. And Chief Sear and his team have really worked hard at making Abbotsford the safest city in the province. And I think our stats will show this year that we are the safest city in the Lower Mainland. So gang activity and those issues are always a pot that's on simmer. We have invested a lot of time and effort with local stakeholders to try and mitigate some of those issues and deal with some of those issues, and I think we've done a really good job. But it's something we always have to be vigilant on. So yeah, I think we're very proud that Abbotsford is the safest city in the Lower Mainland right now.
Mayor Ross Siemens, thank you so much. You're always welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you
You're
very
watching
much.
News of the Week.